Feel the middle fingers aligning the spine. With your mind, you can place the middle fingers in the spine. So the middle fingers pointing upwards is actually coming out of the top of your head. And then bring the hands down. So making this triangle shape. Feel that shape, your sacrum. With your mind, if you just close the eyes, you can superimpose the two. Feel the power of the triangle. So my spine is coming down into the top of the sacrum, and the triangle of the sacrum points that downwards like an arrowhead that focuses and intensifies the down, but it also splits that down into the two sides of the triangle, which reach down across the hips into the two legs. The triangle splits the one into three, two sides and the point. Pivoting at the elbows, bring the hands up. The same triangle shape. And now the tip of your middle fingers is opposite your thymus. So it's as though you have a sacrum here as well that splits into the shoulders and arms. And then down once more. So the position and shape of my hands is helping me become more aware of the sacrum, its place and its functioning, what it actually does. And then up again. Middle fingers are extending out of the top of the head. And the backs of the two hands are reaching out into the shoulders. Elbows are heavy. So they're pulling down, but also pulling towards each other, which is squeezing the fingers upwards a little. This is the very simple way in which gravity can be used to lift. And then send the hands out and up. So trying to make the arms as straight as possible and feel that they're extending out of the heart. Still trying to keep the shoulders relaxed. So the shoulders are pulling down. Make fists, but with the thumbs sticking out. And then bring the hands in. And then down. So imagine throwing a pebble into a pond. So it will cause ripples. Concentric circles will expand away from that point of entry. And then imagine you film that and play the film backwards. So then you'll have the circles coming into the center. So this is how we imagine the Dan Qian and the Ming Men. The 2 points into or out of which there are concentric ripples. So when the ripples are going into the Dan Qian, they'll be coming out of the Ming Men and vice versa. So now let's work these two centers, the Dan Qian and the Ming Men. They're directly opposite each other. So I pull in my belly. So that's like these circles coming into the center, and that causes the ripple out from the Ming Men, circles coming out. And then I squeeze the Ming Men, the circles come into the Ming Men and out of the down chin. Tightening the belly, expanding the back, tightening the back, expanding the belly. Feel the resistance. When you tighten one side, the other side doesn't want to expand. So you're having, that's the work you're doing. You're tightening one side and forcing the other side to expand. Everything that we do is resisted, and we want to feel that and become aware of it, because that's how the work becomes energy. So the work doesn't simply use energy, it produces it. Feel the 4 phases. My back is really tightening, which is forcing my belly to really expand. And then I just relax then, and the belly pulls back. And then I have to make the belly really contract to expand the back. And then I relax that. And then I work to go to an extreme of open belly, closed back. And then I relax, and it comes back to the middle. And then I really tighten the belly, expand the back. So there's a tension phase, a real working phase, and then a relaxation phase. And then another work phase and a relaxation. And now we just want to develop that and split the body into the 2 halves, left and right. So we've split front and back, if you like, with that exercise. So the 1 has become 2, and now the 2 becomes 4. Hands in front. So one hand open facing up, and the other hand as a fist facing down. Alternate. So the fist opens and turns to face up, and the other hand closes and turns to face down. And we just repeat. So when we alternate the two sides of the body, the spine wants to turn, but it also wants to tip. So it wants to bend like this. One side of my belly is wanting to contract and the other wanting to expand. So it's difficult. Let's just bring it back to here. There's something Dave said to me. He talked about the freedom that comes from a tight core. And it really sort of struck a chord. The work that we do, it tends to sort of externalize. So the movement of the arms tends to come out. What we're wanting is to suck it right in to our depths, to our core. So that this is the part of the body that's actually becoming stronger, like the belt of the waist. So let's try it again. Feel the movement coming into the belly and the lower back. And then let it become this exercise of just reaching out and pulling in. But again, I'm trying to get it from here. It's coming from here and it's coming back to there. It's not just my arms going in and out like this. It's coming from my interaction with the ground. So my bum on the cushion or the chair. You have to imagine resistance pushing through this thick fluid. And then I grab something and I pull and it doesn't want to come. So I have to really pull here in my lower back and belly. So my back is pushing the hand out against resistance, and then my belly pulls the hand in against resistance. Everything is resisted. So it's got a certain look, you know, when you get it, it just looks like you're working really hard, which of course we should be. And that look of hard work, it's really just awareness. So when something is difficult to do, in order to succeed at it, you just have to become more aware. The more difficult, the more awareness, until it gets to the point where it's so difficult that you have failure. That's the point we're trying to approach all the time. Out of our comfort zone, out of safety, into awareness. And now the same thing, but just up and down. Reaching up and pulling down. Imagine it's really difficult to push this hand up. You're having to push an object upwards. So you'd have to get the lower back working because you just wouldn't have enough strength in your arm. So I'm leaning back and pushing up. And then I'm grabbing a handle, which I have to pull down, but it just won't come. So I have to pull the belly. I have to use the muscles here because I just don't have enough strength in my arm. Good. Now let's just try a few twists. So just bring the hands up and out. And twisting. So it's easy to feel the four phases here. So I turn maximum to my right, which requires real work, and then I relax and I will spring back to the front, and then I work again to turn to the left, and then I relax. Work, relax, work, relax. And then the hands up and down. And let's try this again. The position of the hands, just helping you become aware of the sacrum. Feel the spine descending down onto the top of the sacrum and focusing into the point of the tip of your tail, but also splitting across each hip and into the legs. And then bring the hands up to this imaginary sacrum here. And now feel the spine rising from your lower sacrum and being focused into this point that comes out of the crown of the head and up to the ceiling, but also being split across into the shoulders and up into the arms. So just sending the arms out. Feeling the two arms emanating directly from the heart. And then up and down into prayer posture. Push the hands together and feel how that opens the chest. The legs just a bit wider than shoulder width, like we're standing in riding horse, but maybe not quite so wide as we normally do. The legs are bent. I'm very much aware of my own weight flowing down into the ground and the springiness of my legs holding me up. But then I put my hands on the chair. And then be aware of that chair. So you can send your attention down through the chair and into the ground. So I'm touching the ground through my feet, but also through my hands. The ground comes up into the chair, and I go down through the chair and into the ground. And now I just want to keep my body so loose that I can move it using the arms on the chair. So I push the chair this way, just enough to get my body moving in the opposite direction. And then I push the chair this way and get my body to flow the other way. I'm trying to get the support coming from the legs, but the movement coming from the action of the arms on the chair. I don't want to cheat by using my legs to move me. So just let the arms relax onto the chair, then it will stop the chair from slipping on the floor. When I do this with my students, we use the chair like this, but to help them get the feeling for getting the movement coming from their arms rather than from their legs. We'll do it without the chair as well. So I will stand behind them while they're in riding horse, and I will move them side to side. I'll put my hands on their hips and then just move them side to side. And their legs just have to absorb and accommodate my force. And they can really feel, I can feel. And then they can feel if they're starting to cheat, if they feel my push, and then help me with their leg. I want to feel the two legs. As I move across, that leg is filling and the other leg is emptying. I'm working, but I'm working with awareness. You know, what the Orientals simply call mind. And now just bring the feet up a little bit. Now I just want to go up and down, but by using the chair. I can lift the chair easily because it's not very heavy. So I want to pull it up, but without it coming off the ground. I pull the chair up in order to force my body to go down. So my upward push with the arms is pulling my body down. And then I bring my hands on top of the chair and I press down into the chair to get my body to come upwards. Pulling the chair up, and that brings my body down. And then I push down on the chair, and that gets my body to come up. So it can be very small. You don't even need to move. You just want to feel the flow. Yeah, so when I push down into the chair, there's a flow of energy up, which will bring my body up if there's enough. But it doesn't matter if there isn't enough. I pull the chair up and just feel the increase in pressure on the soles of my feet. And if you want to, you can just go down with it. And then push down on the chair and squeeze upwards. Just delay the movement. The force builds up. If I pull up with my hands and just keep relaxing, then eventually I relax so much that this movement can find its way through my stiff legs. And then I just have to be able to stay here. And now I press down on the chair and just keep it going until the flow upwards through me is sufficient to bring my body up. I pull the chair and just wait and relax. Then it's as though I melt. It's like the energy that you're applying is just heating you up a little bit. And up I come. So let's try this simple Qigong. The hands come up to the sides. And then I bring my hands together, keeping the arms straight. And then I lift the hands up and then slowly let them down. And we coordinate the breathing. So I breathe in to bring the arms up. And then I breathe out and pull the belly in to get the hands to come in. And then I breathe in again to bring the arms up And then I breathe out slowly. So I breathe in when the arms come up and out. I breathe out when the hands either go down or come in. I breathe in. And I breathe out. Work against resistance. It's impossible to go quickly. Imagine you're in the pool, you're submerged in the water. The water is just forcing your movements to be slow and forcing you to be mindful because it's difficult. So awareness. My mind isn't simply giving my body orders, telling it to throw the arms up. My mind is actually doing it. My mind is there every millimeter is being attended to. And just place the hands on the hips. And now just making a circle with your back. This movement is being attended by my mind, intended and attended. The other way. And then just wind it down. And back up. And then just bring. So you can either have the hands on the hips, like we just did, or you can have them over the sacrum. So now let's put them over the sacrum. Keep the legs a little bit bent. Never lock the legs. Feel your own weight sinking into the springs of the legs. Feel the springs of the legs trying to buoy you up. If someone was to come and place a book onto your head, then you would sink a little bit more because you'd be a little bit heavier. That's the feeling. You can very freely just go up and down. And now just rolling the head, making the circle with the head. Just be careful that you don't fall backwards. And the other way. And back to the top. And now another Qigong with the arms, similar to the one that we just done, but slightly different order. So let's just try it first, just to get the technique. I lift the arms up in front of me, keeping the arms straight. That's it. You can have the hands facing up or down, doesn't really matter. And then arms out to the side. So the arms are straight all the way through. And then the arms up above the head. And then the arms down. So what makes this a little bit tricky is that when we bring the arms up or out, we breathe in. So the first three movements are arms coming up, arms going out, arms going up, and then the arms coming down. So the first three movements require an in-breath. So there's 3 in-breaths followed by an out-breath. So I just have to do a short in-breath. So I breathe in, I breathe in, I breathe in, and then I breathe out. So the first movement, bringing the hands up to here, you're filling the belly. The second movement, bringing the hands out here, you're filling the chest. So that's obvious because it really pulls the chest open. And then this one here, you're filling the head, which it wants to happen anyway. So let's try. So I breathe in to the belly. I breathe into the chest. And then I pull up into my head, keeping the legs bent as I breathe in. And then slowly breathing out and just letting that descend from the head to the heart, to the belly. Breathing in to the belly, breathing into the chest, breathing into the head, and slowly out, dropping from the head to the heart, down into the belly. Breathing into the belly, into the chest, into the head, and slowly out. Let's try again, but feel the load on the legs. When I lift my arms, imagine you're in the pool and underwater. If you lift your arms like that, it would drive your body downwards because you're pushing the water up, and that would push you down. It's the same here. When I lift my arms, I'm being driven into my legs. If my legs are soft and springy, then it will make me sink a little more. So when I bring the arms up here, I sink into the legs. And again here, going out, it's the same thing really. I'm being pushed down into my feet, and then here even more, being really driven downwards. And then slowly, this would make me really rise up in the pool. My head would pop out of the water. And one more. Up. Arms come up, but I'm going down. Arms go out, but I'm going down. Arms come up, but I'm going down. And then the arms come down and I come up. Now let's just try a little bit of this one. So this will develop springy legs as well. I want the feeling that I'm using the legs. I've got an action going in the legs, but we normally use the legs to bring ourselves up, to lift the body effectively. So what I'm wanting now is to get an action in the legs that actually helps me slip underneath here. So the action of my legs is actually drawing me down, and as though I'm coming underneath and right down into this point beneath my feet. As I bring the heel up here, it's like, imagine if I was to bring the knee right up and pull it up. It really sort of pulls my bum under, because my spine is effectively, my leg is effectively an extension of the spine. This is what I want to feel here. So when I'm bringing the heel up, I'm not pushing the body up and sticking my bum out. I'm actually slipping down underneath it. The heel coming up is helping me get underneath because it's flattening out my lower back a little bit. So squeezing my min meng backwards. And then just standing a while. If you have the hands on the chair, then just feel the chair. Whatever it is that you're touching, feel it, use it. So mindfulness is all about awareness. If the mind is aware when you've got it on the chair, it will travel through the chair, up and down. So you want your awareness not simply to be something that's there for you, but also for the things that you interact with. So it's as though your hand on the chair that's traveling down through the chair and into the ground is actually forcing the chair to become aware of you. So something in the chair is coming up, the ground is coming up the chair and coming into you. We're all channels. Everything in our lives is relational. We relate to everything. There's nothing in me that's separate. And you can have your hand on anything. It doesn't really matter what it is. You could just have the hands on the wall. I have these 3 points of contact with the world. I've got the 2 feet, and I want this feeling that they're bleeding in and out. They're seeping into the ground. The ground is seeping up into me. And then wherever you're touching, again, this wall is coming into my body, flowing down through me, and something from the ground is coming up and flowing into the wall. I'm just making a connection. It's like an electrical cable. So this contact is earthing the wall, but it's also walling the ground. It's always both ways. If there's energy, there's always flows in both directions. Especially feel that with the chair. Your mind is going down into it and something of the ground is coming up into you. And then that's exactly how we want to feel our own body. My legs are soft enough to allow energy to flow through them. Where there's energy, there is a quiet mind. The right sort of quiet, not a quiet that's held. This is why energy is just so important and why a quiet mind is so important. In the sense, they're the same thing.